So now we. Thank you. Okay, Zok the Mishnah.
What are we holding?
Hey, Chesam Ebei is Mishnah on the bottom. Yeah. That's the last Mishnah. Now we start with rumors and these type of things. Yeah. Like how much trust do we put into into rumors, and how much do we not? Right. So Zok the Mishnah. Yotza Shema here. Mikudesha. If a rumor went out that that a woman is married, then we consider her married. Which meaning if the olam in the street is saying that this woman is married, she's stuck married, she can't marry anybody else. Megureshes, if the rumor is that she got divorced, then she's divorced. But she only divorced l'chumra. Not shot that she can go marry anybody else. She can't. She has to have a proof of a get. But if she's married to a kohen, she cannot stay married to him. Right? Because if her husband was a kohen and then they got divorced, so then he's not allowed to remarry her because the kohen is not allowed to marry a grusha. Right? So that would be how it manifests itself. The only time that we believe these rumors is if there's no amasla. Amasla literally means I don't even know how to type shit. Amasla means like an excuse, no? Right? But here it doesn't. It doesn't work. And amasla normally is translated as an excuse. Here, it's not so much an excuse. It's more like it's more of that.
It's a reason for the coil, no?
What?
Oh, it's called for the coil.
Yeah, it's basically that you can explain the coal. You can explain where the coal came from. That's basically what it is. If there's a reasonable
mitigating factor.
A mitigating. If I understood what that meant, then I was. Meaning there's something that could be toileted, right? Fine. So what would be an amasla? Girish ish pleni is ishtay al tanai. If a guy divorced his wife on a tanai, or zorak la kiddushin, or he threw her the rings. Safek karav la. We don't know if it was closer to him or closer to her, so we have no idea if they're married or not. Zuhi amasla, that would be an amasa, and we're going to assume that they weren't married. Meaning, there's a rumor that she got divorced, right? But it's maybe the reason why she got divorced is meaning the husband's divorce was made on a tanai, and then we can say, oh, maybe the rumor is that she got divorced because the husband took a divorce, but it was with a tanai, and maybe the tanai was never kept, and therefore they're no longer divorced. So if we have a reason to believe that there was a tanai made, then we're going to say that she is not divorced.
But Tiaka, the second case is not. It's still a suffix in the. It's not like it's still a suffix. Is it because it's svek? It's not. And a masla by the first case, the masla says it never happened because the tanai says the kedushin might not have ever happened. In the second case, it's correct. The rumor is that it's a suffix kedushin or a suffix gerish. So correct. Is that because it's sveka?
No. The rumor is that she's divorced. But
but there's two. The cases are different.
Yeah, but we're not. That's true. But we're not trying to push off a vadai divorce here. We're just trying to push off a rumor.
Yeah, but one mitigating rumor, it takes away the kedushin or gerushin completely. The other one makes it a suffix kedushin, suffix gerushin. So how does that help?
Correct. Which seems like that's enough to dispel a rumor.
Why?
That's what it seems. Well,
if a rumor tells her back as something that's usher, why would the fact that it's a suffix kedushin do that? I understand if it's a mitigating factor that it completely absolves it, meaning a tanai, you would say that's enough of a reason to take it away. Here, you're still creating a suffix gerushin and suffix kedushin with the rumor.
Right. Again, I understood it as that it's not a vada, so that's a rumor, but I don't know for sure. If that's okay. There's more to say. Rachman, you want to mute, please?
I thought I did. I see.
There you go. You're good. You're good now. You're good now. Thank you. Okay, so the Gemara asks. So again, in the first part of the Mishnah, if a kohen is married to a woman and the rumor goes out that they're divorced, so she cannot stay married to him. Right? The Gemara says, "Vatrinan la agavra." We're going to ask this woman to stay married to her husband. Any rumor that happens after Nisuin, we don't care for it. Right? So this is after Nisuin. This couple's happily married. Then a rumor goes out that he divorced her. So we don't listen to things that after Nisuin. Well, that's Hachikama. Yotza Shma Be'ir Mekudeshes. If she had a Shma Be'ir that she's Mekudeshes, meaning nobody ever knew that she was married. I mean, the Mishnah till now, the Gemara till now is assuming that we knew she was married, and then the rumor goes out that she's divorced. Now the Gemara is saying no. We don't even know that she was married. There's a rumor that went out that she was married. Then Harei to Mikudeshes. Mikudeshes and Mikudeshes. But if a rumor went out that she was married and then got divorced, so meaning it's in one package deal. The rumor said that she was married. It also said she's divorced. On Tamar Aleph now.
It says here it's a later rumor. One rumor is that she was married, and a later rumor is that she was divorced.
Right, but it's both rumors. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Meaning, yeah, Hanami. I mean, I said at the same time. It can't be at the same time because what would that make sense? Meaning there was a rumor that the only reason why anybody in town knew she was married was from a rumor, and the only reason why that she knew she was divorced was from a rumor. So both of them are rumors. So on Tamar Aleph, so the Gemara says. She's considered divorced. Why? My time of kol the shayvra imay. It was a literal means of kol, a voice, and the shayvra, what breaks it, came at the same. It was together. Right? Meaning the whole thing was a rumor. She was only married from a rumor, so she's only divorced from a rumor. Fine. So that's Sugya. So Amar Rava. Now we get into all sorts of rumor stuff. So Amar Rava. Yotzal Hashem Mizana Be'ir. If she had a reputation that she was a zayna. It's interesting. Rashi says she was a zayna dafka to goyim and to avodim, right? Which would make her puzzle to kahuna. Right? It's a single girl, so that's another word. It's another time where we use the word nus. It's a single girl, but the rumor is that it's a single girl, and she was messing around with goyim or avodim, which would then puzzle her to kahuna. A single girl
makes sense, no? Because if she was married, we would if a kol went out, wouldn't there be a shiloh if he has to divorce her at that point?
Yeah, correct. But we could be talking about that same type of thing, no?
If it's Yatzal HaKosh, then in Chayshish law, you have to divorce her.
Yeah.
That's why Rashi picked Penuya.
Okay, and Hanami, I hear. Right, so that's good. Very good. So Yatzal Hashem is Nana Be'ir. So we went out ashamed that she was a Zayna. Ein Chayshish, we don't listen to it. My time. A Pritzusa Ba'amahu de Chazala. All anybody saw was that she was doing pritzas, meaning she was hanging out. Rashi says she was, laughing, flirting. Right? Ask any guy, right? Any guy sees a girl flirting, you go outside a restaurant, what's the Shabbos, or you go to Woodburn, right? With Rachamim's neighborhood, you Woodburn, they're all hanging out. What does the guy say? She's a zayner, right? So the Gemara is saying that's not enough. That's not enough. The Gemara says ketanai, but this is actually machlekes tanaim. Achla b'shuk, if a woman's eating in the street, girger of b'shuk, or she has her, she's walking around with her head up in the street, right? Meaning without sneers, henika b'shuk, or she's nursing her baby in the street. The kulan Ramei Reimer, in all these cases, Ramei says teitze, she has to get divorced. See, so here Akiva is talking about where the rumor has it, right, that she's a Eishes Ish, so she has to get divorced. Rabbi Akiva, even if she's not a kohen, even if he's not a kohen, right? Okay, it's actually machlokes Rishonim if what exactly.
It's a pella. It's pella. The Gemara is assuming a person eats in the street. It's grounds for divorce.
It's a ground for nut, not divorce. Meaning it's grounds that she's a.
That's right. The
yeah.
Zayna with divorce. I mean, that's like.
Yeah. But then you muted.
Aaron, you muted.
Does a coffee or a water bottle count?
A good question. What about on Shabbos while you walk in the street with your shoes in the bag? All right. Okay. How about in a restaurant? Is that called achila b'shuk? What about the tables outside the restaurant? Right? I don't know. Anyway,
They closed down one restaurant in Monticello because they had outdoor eating. Not from town, but the certain rabbi person. It wasn't a lady rabbi.
I hear. Okay. All right. Anyway, so Rameir holds they got to get divorced. Rabbi Kiva, I mean, we had this before. That's when the ladies who yenterai by the moon, they sit outside and they're knitting, right? And they schmooze. So if those ladies seem to know everything, right?
So-
That Lashon Hara was what
What
they
you
say
saying
Lashon
about-
Hara?
A married,
Yeah, I don't know where Lashon Hara comes in. I don't know where Lashon Hara comes into this whole sugya.
all of these cases they're thought of as being a what? A prutza, a zoina, or what?
That she was Mazana, yes. That somebody like this would be Mazana.
No, it's Yaakov. There is a huge chilik. According to a mayor, just being a prutz is enough to be considered what's it called? Rabbi Kiva it says that you have to be considered a zaina yourself. They can't say about you that you're a prutza. That's not enough according to Rabbi Kiva. They have to these yantas have to say that you're a zaina.
No, okay, and a Hanami, right.
So Rabbi Kiva would be chaylik. A stam a parts bomb is never enough. They're never in grounds for a divorce.
Well,
ladies nurse babies in the street. And
I don't know what
Nowadays,
that means.
nowadays it's a common thing.
Right, so I don't know what that means. It's nursing without being covered? What
that's
does
what I
it
was
mean?
going to ask you what it means.
I don't know. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what that meant.
Okay.
Right?
Fine.
Yeah, so the way Rashi understands these ladies, they're just yenterai. They just sit and they talk about all the goings on in the city. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the Lashon Hara part here. It was before the days of the Chavetz Chaim. That's the only answer, I guess. Right?
Are these single girls or married women?
Well,
Doesn't
single
say.
girls wouldn't have milk.
Oh, he's talking about the ladies that are yenterai.
Oh.
Right?
See,
Anyway,
that's what
so,
I'm
okay,
saying. Isn't that what the Gemara is saying? Kitanoi, Rav does not agree to Rabbi Kiva.
And a Hanami, they don't, either one of them. Anyways, okay, so Rabbi Kiva, up until then, there's no problem. Now, meaning both Rameir and Rabbi Kiva disagree with Rava here. Right? Because again, Rava said they don't go. If she has a name of being a Zaina, because she's Pritzas, we don't listen to it. Right? But Rameir says we do listen to it. Rabbi Kiva also says we do. But he needs it to be a little bit more solid based on the yentas of the town. Those two, both Rameir and Rabbi Kiva, both are saying that we have some sort of, we listen to them a little bit. He says, no, if that's the case, you would not ever allow a daughter of Avram Avinu to ever be married. Right? What fascinating thing, because again, this is another one, like what kind of door do they have going on there? Why? Because Rashi says, because everybody has enemies, and they all just put out bad rumors about people. So everybody's going to have a bad rumor about them.
Well, isn't that the story of Tzaddik's wife? Wasn't that the famous story of Tzaddik's wife?
I don't know which story.
Where his first wife, people were jealous of her, and they put out rumors like that. And he tried divorcing her, and she refused, and he had to get a heter me'Rabbanan. And some Rabbanim did not give him the heter me'er because they were.
Oh yeah.
They held that it wasn't right to substantiate such rumors.
Right, Taka. Yeah. So and a Hanami. So I don't know. I mean, you're saying Rav Tzaddik had it, and everybody has it. I don't know. Anyway, so He said nobody's going to be scot-free because everybody has rumors about them. But when you find an erva, you have to know about it from 2 or 3 edim. Just like over there, it's something clear that we know that she was mezana because you have it with 2 or 3 edim. Afghan davar barer. So to here, in order to make a divorce, in order to make them get divorced, you have to know with 100% clarity. Fine. Okay. Tana Rabbanon. Be'ula, ain't choshish in love. We're not choshish that somebody is a be'ula, meaning a single girl, right? And there's a rumor that she's not a be'ula, in which case she would be possible to a kayin gadol. We don't listen. Nesua ain't choshish in love. If there's a rumor that a single girl is married, we don't listen to it. Arusa, that she's engaged, ain't choshish, we don't listen to it. Shaloi leplini, ain't choshish. If we say that a rumor went out that she is not, meaning it doesn't say who she was engaged to, but it just says that she was engaged. Also, we don't listen to it. If the rumor is that she got married in a different city, we don't listen to it. Mamzeres ain't choshesh. If a rumor is that a mamzeres, we don't listen. Shifcha ain't choshesh. That she's a slave, we don't listen. Hikdish plenty nechasav. If the rumor goes out that a guy was makdish his belongings, hifkir plenty nechasav, or that he was mafkir his belongings, ain't choshesh. We don't listen. All these things, we don't listen to the rumors. Okay.
How did that last line get in there?
Which one?
We were talking about women.
The last 2 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last 2 lines, hektish and hefker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess those are other things that I guess it's just what other rumors could affect somebody? The rumor goes out that a guy was mafker his fields. That could be real bad. All of a sudden, the oilam starts moving into his fields, and he can be up the creek, right? So I imagine that these are major issues, right? Okay, Amar Ula, Loi Sheshamu Kol Havara. When we say that in our Mishnah, right? When we say that we listen to rumors, not that we heard Havara really means what do you call it? An echo. It's not pshat that we just all of a sudden the rumor went out there. You came and you saw that there were lit candles and set tables, or really means beds, meaning the chasana. There was a chasana going on. And people were going in and out of the hall or the house. And everybody's saying that she was miskadesha. So that's what we call a rumor. Some a rumor that all of a sudden one day in shul, a guy said, "Hey, you heard this lady got married?" That's not what we're talking about. That seems to be that's unsubstantiated and that's nothing. We're talking about where there was a wedding going on in town, and everybody said this girl is the kala. So when it says miskadesha, so based on that, we're going to say she's married. Maybe she never ended up getting married. It's very nice that you set up the whole chasana hall, but do we really say that she got married? Maybe she didn't get married. So when it says no, ema plainis niskat shahayim. She was married, not that she's going to get married, right? That they saw her get married. Right? So then we're choshed that she actually had a marriage, which is very interesting because were there no edim? Right? Were there no edim that saw this chuppah? Right?
Maybe they weren't around.
Maybe they went to Medina Sayyam, or it's an interesting thing. Like, do you make the edim look at the kala? Kala has a veil, right? So some Tzaddik Kedushins make the kala lift up her veil so that the Eidei Kedusha can see who the kala is. Otherwise, how do they know who's getting married? And other Tzaddik Kedushins don't care because there's only one girl there with a dress that looks like that, and everybody knows who it is by the wedding who got married, so that's enough.
I always wondered about
One
this.
look at the Kala's
Only by-
father, you know who's getting married. He just spent $1 million.
I always wondered about this. By Chassid, it's only by Chassidish Chassidas, you know.
Well, no, there's some of the Litvish have a pretty big cover.
Some Asadi
I don't
Kedushin have Ede Bedekin. Some of them have Ede Bedekin.
Some of them maybe Badekin too, but that's for a different reason. That's because they hold that the Badekin is chuppah. By putting it over her head, that's a form of a kinyan. I know my one of my rebbeim, Rav Harfin, is the Chassidish Statmer. So by one of my kids' weddings, so I asked him, I want to be mechaber him. He says, Gesund hate, not Eid Kedushin, because he says Remeir turns Masadi Kedushin, and I know that he asks that the Kala should pick up the veil and the Eidim should look at the veil, and I am not looking. So make sure I'm not Eid Kedushin. That's the way. That's the way it should be. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, but maybe that's yeah.
Nachali brought up money. Don't we have a chazaka that a person won't throw away his money for the Sudas Chasna?
Right.
Why is miskadeshes not enough here? That she is getting married today. We know there's a Suda going on. We know who it's.
We don't know.
What did you just say, Gershon? Person won't do what?
We had in Ksubas, we had when the Adim come along and say that we saw this whole big chasna going on, and it was for her. That's good. That's a good Adus. Why over here when they say miskadeshes, that this girl is getting married today? Is that not enough? Because you have a chazaka that a person doesn't waste his money.
What does that mean? Waste his money? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand what you're saying.
Whoever set up the Suda for this wedding.
Maybe it's a Gavir, and they went over and he gave the father $25,000. Well, it's not his daughter.
No, we don't have a problem with saying that it is her that will get married. The kasha is maybe she didn't in the end. That's what the Gemara's problem was. Maybe she didn't get married in the end. But we have a chazaka that goes against that.
How do you know she had a father?
Well, whoever spent the money, the chazaka is that it won't be wasted.
I don't know. The town. I don't know.
I mean, the Gemara just says the candles were lit and the beds were made. That's probably not so expensive.
and people must not be in the sham.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's considered. I go with Dr. Coleman. I think you're onto something. Make a chasana that way. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Doctor was the presidential suite in the Waldorf.
Yeah. Anyways, so okay, so we changed it to say that she got married. Okay, but again, it can't be that there's Aiden there because otherwise it's Pasha. Fine. Tony Levi, Yishmu Kol Avara. Not that they heard a rumor or heard echo. That they saw Neiras Dolkas and made beds. And women were what do you call it? Sewing or spinning to the other ner, and they were happy with her. Plainis is this certain girl is getting married today. What says miskadeshes? Maybe she never ended up getting married. She got married today. Okay, so that's just a repeat. Saying what it says, again, and they're saying Zehu Kol. That is, I mean, the people are saying something. They're saying that somebody got married. That's what's called a Kol. Lo Yamru Davar, Zehu Amasla. But if they didn't say anything, then that's an Amasla that will negate the rumor. Right? So, meaning, if there was a wedding going on, if there's a rumor of who was the one that got married, so that's one thing. But if there's nobody that says that there's no names attached to it, then that would be an amasla. Right? What does this mean? So when it says loy amru, what do you mean if nobody said anything? Loy amru v'loy klum. If nobody said anything, so then where's their rumor? I think what it says if nobody said anything is amasla. If nobody said anything, so there's no rumor. Like when it says the Amar amasla shamru afilu mikan bad yud yamim. He says that an amasla doesn't have to be necessarily at the same time the rumor goes out. Meaning, a guy comes over to you and says, "Yeah, you heard this lady got married," and you say, "Oh no, it was a tonight," or it was a Suffolk Kedushin. Meaning, that would be an instant amasla. Thank you. But
What happened to
Huna,
them in the middle of those 10 days?
No, the rumors are flying about, and then they find out, oh, you heard that's about that girl who they said got married? There was a whole shiloh with the Kedushin, and it doesn't necessarily, she was not married. Right, that would be. Meaning, it can take 10 days to materialize. All right, so Kamash Malon, Loy Amru. Right? Meaning, they didn't say, Loy Amru, if it wasn't said, who dahavi amasla, that's when you're going to have an amasla. Or amru, but if they did say, meaning if they didn't say who's the one that got married, then we're already mistupik whether this marriage even happened. So then that's when you have this amasla. Ha amru lo yavi amasla. But if people said that there was a certain person who got engaged and the amasla doesn't work. Fine. So Amar Rav Abba, Amar Rav Huna, Amar Rav, lo yeshamu kol havara ela kedei sheyamru Pliny Mehechen Mehechen Shama. Right? Meaning, it's not pshat that it's tam a rumor. They say that where did Pliny, the guy who brought the rumor, where did he hear it? Me Pliny, he heard it from Pliny. O Pliny, me Pliny, and Pliny heard it from Pliny. Meaning, this is an investigative reporting. Right? The guy's trying to find out where this rumor starts. He goes to one and says, "Where'd you hear it from?" He says, "I heard it from Yankel." Goes to Yankel. Yankel says, "Where'd I hear it from?" "I heard it from Shmerel." Right? And he goes back to try and find the source. So you keep going back till you go to the guy who knew exactly what was going on. Then where it says Davar Abaror, you're going to something that's very clear. Edus Ma'al, you see, that's a regular legit Edus. So that's not a rumor. Ella, so that can't be what that Gemara meant. Not because that they heard the sound. But they should say, Pliny Mehechan Shama. Where did they hear it? Mi Pliny, from Pliny. Upliny, mi Pliny, and we heard, meaning the trail goes cold when it hits the guy that said, "Oh, where'd you hear it from?" And then finally, "Oh, I heard it from him, but he just went overseas." Right? So it seems like the rumor is checking out, and then it just goes cold. Right? But there you do have to pay attention to it. Then you have to pay attention to it. Okay. So Amalei Abai Rabbi Yosef. So Abai told Rabbi Yosef, "Mevatlinan kala or lo mevatlinan? Are we mevatel a kol or are we not mevatel it?" Meaning, when a rumor gets disproved, right? Do we make a big announcement and take out ads in the paper to say that it's a rumor, or we just let the whole thing slide? So Amalei. Rav Chisda said that we don't listen to a rumor until it's said from ksherim, meaning people who are not stam yentas. You know, everybody knows there's always one guy who is a yenta who comes in and says all sorts of news. Half the time it's not true. So that guy, that's not a considered rumor. But you have a legitimate guy who's not the yenta and he says something, so then it's more legitimate. Shema mina, mivaslina kala. Right, meaning if Rav Chisda is saying that we don't believe a rumor until it comes from ksherim, so then it sounds like we are mevatel a kol, because if it's coming from a source of yentas, then not. If Rav Shesha says that even if you hear the rumor from women, then it's considered a kol, it's considered a legitimate rumor. We hear from this that we're not mevatel kol. He said to him, a balabata thing. Atarvasa ninu. There's two types of places. The Sura Mavatli Kola and Sura the Mavatla Kol, meaning if the rumor gets negated, they'll make an announcement and say, nobody paying attention to this rumor. In Harda, Mavatli Kola, and in Harda, they don't. Fine. Ahi, the Nafak Allah Kola. Now Gemara goes through 4 or 5 mice in here. Right, there was a lady that went out a rumor that she was married.
I can't believe it. We told me about Narda. You told me about Surah. What about the rest of the world? In the rest of the world, we don't know what to do.
Right. And I mean, the rest of the world, we don't know what to do. I guess.
No,
I
I'm saying,
understood
but
what it
Yaakov,
meant.
these were the big. This is where the psak came from. These two places were the two yeshivas. These were like where the psakim came from, Shmuel and Rav.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Meaning,
But
I
was
don't think it
thinking
was
like,
Stam of minig of the town. It was the institutions established it that way in those places, and you could go buster each town. But it's like going buster different paiskim almost.
right. No, but at least we see. I think what the Gemara's point really is that we see that there are some towns that will be mevatel and some towns that won't be mevatel. Right? Meaning it's totally in the town. You have to find out what the minig of the town is. There's no set psak on this, I think. But you can ask, okay, where is there a set psak? Everything is totally in the town, right? Yeah,
What
okay,
is it in
I'm not-
Far Rockaway?
I don't know. Grada Farakaway, as rumors go, rumors stay pretty squelched. It's not the dry town.
Didn't hear you. Didn't hear you.
Rafi,
Go
can
ahead,
you
sorry.
mute, please?
Farakaway is not from the towns that rumors fly all over. Meaning people are not such yenses in Farakaway. At least that's from what I see. A lot of hawks that go on in Farakaway that stay very quiet for a very long time. In other towns, I'm not chas v'sholom being mekatrig on anything, but in other towns, there's the rumors fly and they go crazy. Okay, whatever the reasons are for that. It has its pros and its cons. Anyways, so the Gemara has a few stories. There was a rumor that went on about this lady, Bikachula Barbe Rav. She became engaged to a Barbe Rav means a bacher of yeshiva, right? He's the son of the house of Rav. Asi Rav Chamalavua, Rav Chua called her father, Amalei, and he said to him, Emily, Hechi Hava Uvda. What's going on here? Where did this rumor come from that your daughter got engaged? Amalei said, Al Tanai Kaddish, the guy, the yeshiva bacher was Mekadosh my daughter on a Tanai. The deal was that he's not allowed to go to Beit Chuzai. So and he went. I don't know exactly what Beit Chuzai is. Is that like downtown? As long as he doesn't go to town or something, he doesn't go bowling. I don't know. Whatever.
Woodburn.
As long as he Woodburn. There you go. Right. So Amalei, given the beidin to have a color, loy have a amasla. Since when the rumor went out, there was no amasla. Lav kol kaminach. You don't have. You're not so believe the machasta amasla to make an amasla, right? So
1 second. Why couldn't he? There's something here. I don't remember the words that he could have timed it better. Never happened.
Migu.
Amigoi, yeah, Amigo. Something.
Oh, I mean, why couldn't he just say it's not true?
Right.
Because the rumor is already going around.
Right, but he can't make a condition to the room, tell him the emet what happened. Why can't you just say it never happened?
His Adam won't be believed.
It's not a best. It's not a time. Yeah, I'm saying the original rumor should have gone around with the Tanai. That's what you needed for it to be for the Amasla to work. There was no original rumor with the Amasla.
Right. Meaning, Naftali, he thought he'll tell them there is a reason that there's substance to this rumor. Right? There is substance to the rumor, but it's a false rumor because he never made the Tanai. So Rav Chama said, yeah, but it's too late. That Amasla is too late. You're telling us Amasla too late. It should have been the Amasla went out at the same time as the rumor, so then it's one thing. Fine. A similar story. There was a rumor that went out about this woman, the Kacha, Ba'atifa de Tuchla Be'ina de Be Shefi. She basically, I don't know where the Gemara pulled something so interesting out, but basically they were Makadish her with, basically they took dates and they put them into baskets and they until they got ripe. So on the bottom of the basket, there would be like residue. So that's what the guy used to marry her. He gave this to this wife. Talk about a low maintenance wife, right? He gave this this date stuff to the wife to be Mekadisha. That was the rumor. So Shochar of Idi Baram Lakamed Abaya. Idi Baram asked Abaya, Ki Hai Gam Namai. What's the story with this? Amalei. Even according to Mandomer, it says that we're not Mavatal a call, meaning even if we disprove the rumor, we're not Mavatal it. Here we're gonna knock it out. Because Meimar Amri, because people are gonna say, Ainu Barabona Bekidushea, Veloy Hava Bahushava Pruta. Because the rumor, people are gonna say, oh yeah, that people think that she got married to this guy and she took, you heard what she took to get married? She took some date residue. Right? And people are gonna say, there can't be the Rabbanon. She's not really married. The Rabbanon looked into it and realized that there was no Shava Pruta here, and therefore the marriage was not a marriage. Right? Yeah, so the meaning people are going to accept that as a reasonable reason that the rumor went out that she got married, even though she was not legitimately married. Fine.
So Yaakov, if she went out and got married to somebody else with a real Kol, would her children be Mamzera? Well, a real Kol went out and she went out and she got married to somebody else. Would her children be Mamzer?
I have no idea. A good question. Would it make Mamzeris?
Because Rashi says over here that it's only that other people will say she's getting married. So is that enough of a reason to go ahead and make her children Mamzer?
I hear.
Safek Mamzer is Mutter Baba Kahal. So maybe
why even make it a Safek Mamzer?
It's not
right.
So if it's a Safek, then what's the big deal?
Well, how do you know? Maybe a rumor is not a Safek Rachman. Maybe a rumor is considered Bada.
No, because over here they were Matre. It was a real rumor, but they were Matre because you don't have to worry. Right. Meaning here was a real rumor, and they said don't worry about it because we could. Even though the rumor was established, he said, "Don't worry about it because there's something. It's not an Amtala. It's just that we're not worried that people are going to say, and she just got married, and that's enough. So that means it's not really making her children anything besides than a mamzer."
Right. I hear. I don't know. I'm not sure. I would think. I don't know. I mamish don't know. Okay, let's see right there. That's a good question. There was another woman who there went up the rumor, the Ikacha, that she became engaged. On Tomid Bays now. The Chabim Planya. So she got engaged to one of the people of to one of the kids. It didn't say which son. Chad Mibei Planya, one of the Bnei Planya, one of the sons of this certain guy. Amarava, I feel the Mandoma Lemon Kala, even according to the Mandoma that says that when Amavatal call, Baham Vatlina Kala. Here we are, Ravatal. Right? Meimer Amri, Ainuba, Rabbana Bekidushe. The Rabbana looked at the Kedusha, Katan Hava. This guy had a lot of boys. And it was the Katan that married her. Right? So then we're going to say that was the case. Okay, I'm not sure why. I mean, you see here that it doesn't have to be that strong of an Amasla. Right? I'm saying, guy has a lot of sons. The rumor went out that she got married to one of them. We're going to say, forget it. The rumor is that she must have gotten married to a son who's less than bar mitzvah, so the whole kiddushin is not a kiddushin. Right?
You're learning this is because of a masla? I thought there were two different kinds of story here. The first Maisa was an Amasla. An Amasla is no good because it doesn't go out at the same time. This is even without an Amasla. Doesn't just throw it out. Mavatlim on color.
Right, that's what Rashi says. Rashi says because we don't have to worry about the shot. People say HSS is going to get a woman's getting married outside HSS.
Right, because we're worried about a bigger problem. So Mavatlim and color, we just throw the whole thing out.
Well, it doesn't say that. We're going to see after the say further on. We're going to see further on the Amid what you're saying, whether that's true or not. Right? Okay, so let's see. But here, now I don't know. I thought it was a master. Okay, let's see. There was another lady that the rumor went out. The that she got engaged to a katan, but the kid was very mature. So he looked like a gadol. We had this story, and they said, he has not reached the literally means half of Reuven, right? Meaning that he doesn't. It's Like if you talk to him, you'll see he's not a gadol. Shenemar the Palgas Reuven gedolim chikrei leiv. For when Reuven separated from Klal Yisrael, so then you have to look into a chikrei leiv. You have to look into the heart to see what's going on there. That's talking about by Sisra, where Reuven didn't help out. Didn't help out with the Plishtim. Was it Plishtim? No. Sisra. Sisra was from what? I don't know. They didn't help knock down Sisra. Right? Meaning, we're trying to figure out why Reuven did not participate with the rest of Klal Yisrael. The Gemara's point is that it's very nice that this Katan looks mature, but if you talk to him for 5 minutes, you'll see he's not a gadol, and the whole marriage is not a marriage. Fine. Then Gemara says, we believe the rumors as long as there was no amasla there. So Amar Rabbi Bar Avhuna, amasla shamru afilu mikan ba'ad asari yomim. Like we said on Amar Aleph, an amasla can happen even from now for another 10 days. Sometimes, this is what Gershon and Akiva was saying, I think. Sometimes, in place of an amasla, we're chayshishin for our amasla. Right? Meaning, Bezdin realizes, like, 1 second, this rumor is ridiculous. Right? This rumor is ridiculous. So, Mamela, they're just going to knock it down based on what they think would be an amasla, even if there's no specific amasla. Right? That's what he's saying. That's what Rav Zvid is saying, a chiddush. As long as Rashi says, as long as there's a makam and a pesach, that we could figure out why the rumor went out that this woman is married, then we're gonna go with it. What it asked, as long as there's no amasla there. Right? So what do you mean? The Mishnah says that there's no actual amasla. But makam amasla. What it means is in the makam for an amasla. I mean, it doesn't have to specifically be an amasla, a mitigating factor. That's what you called it, right? It doesn't necessarily have to have one. It just has to be obvious that there would be a mitigating factor. Fine. So do you not hold that we do this? But Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, this is going back to Yavamas, right? So in Yavamas, let's say a woman's husband goes overseas, and the rumor comes back, and with one aid, there's a rumor, and one aid proves it, that her husband died. Based on this, she goes and gets married. Then, of course, what happens? The husband comes home. So now what? So there's a difference in halacha whether they were engaged, whether she got engaged to the second husband, or she was married. So the Mishnah says, Niskatsha v'achakach ba baila, she got engaged and then her husband came home. Muteres lachto, she's mutter to go back to her first husband. Right? Now why? La mishum damrin al tanai kaddish. People are going to think that the reason why she could go back to her first husband is not pshat, that it's machzir grushasa, right? Because we know that a man is not allowed, once a woman marries somebody else, a man cannot take her back. So, people are going to see this. Her husband went overseas. The rumor went out that he died. She gets engaged to somebody else, and then the husband comes back, and she goes back to the husband. So people looking at this are going to think, well, she's being master grushasa. I mean, he's being master grushasa. Right? Elamai. Why are we not worried about this? Why are we letting her go back to her first husband? Because people are going to think that the husband did it on a Tanai. Right? Meaning the second husband did it on a Tanai. That they're only married if the first husband doesn't show up. So now there was no specific rumor about this, but we're going to say that must be what it was, and therefore she can go back to her first husband. And my answer is no. Shani Yosef Basi Baal Kama'ara. No, the Baal, the husband comes and he says the second marriage is no good because we know that if a guy goes to be Makadish and Eshes Ish, the Kedushin is nothing. Right? The Gemara says, Ihachi Mrs. Nami. So if so, then why stop at Erison, even if she got married, meaning Nisuin? Right? This Gemara is talking about if she got engaged. If she got married, she cannot go back to the first husband. So then, if the husband is saying that she should never have gotten married, and the second marriage is not a marriage, so why shouldn't she go back to the first husband? The Gemara answers, this is the of the Isura. If she got married where she didn't, Isser, Katsur Rabbanon, the Chaman put a knas on her, she can't go back to her first husband. Why? Because she's supposed to do the investigation. She comes to Bezdin and says, there's a rumor that you that your husband died overseas. So she's supposed to, before she gets remarried, she's supposed to do the investigations. And here she got married based on the investigation, and she didn't, and she still has a problem. So she didn't investigate well enough, so we give her a knas. But Neskacha, the lawyer of the Isura, but if she just got engaged, so there's no bia there. So she didn't do an Isser like the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan didn't make her have a knas. Right? So that's why that works out. So we don't have any kasha from there that we use an actual amas. Fine. Amar Avashi, kol chazik b'beit dina. Any rumor that doesn't start, Bezdin doesn't approve of it, lav kolahu. Meaning you need a Bezdin to look into the rumor. Right? Fine. So if there's a rumor that comes out after they get engaged, after they get married, we're not chashim, because once they're married, they're married. But sounds like, but if the rumor goes out once after they're engaged, but before they're married, again we're calling it engaged, but let's just for clarity's sake, right? But between engagement and marriage, then we are chashish. Even if the rumor came out after the engagement, we still don't listen to it, right? And she does not have to get a get from the whoever it was that she was rumored to be married to. And the halach is that we don't listen to rumors not after engagement, and if we don't listen to it after engagement, we certainly don't listen to it after marriage. By a number of Yirmiyah, so they sent from Rav to Shmuel, they sent to Shaili, Yilamdeinu Rabbeinu, teach us. Yotzal of Kol Merishan, let's say the rumor went out that she was engaged to one guy. Uba Achar v'kitsha Kiddushay Torah. And another guy came and married her with regular Kiddushay Torah, regular Daraisa marriage. Mao, what's the din? He sent back, Teitze, she has to go out from the second husband. But please look into it and clarify it by the end and then let me know. So basically, they asked Shmuel that there was a rumor that she was married to one guy, and then a second guy came along and married her. So what's the din? So he said the second guy has to get divorced, but please look into it and let me know. The Gemara now says, what does it mean that Shmuel, what did he want him to look into? If we say that if it was revealed the Kiddushim, the Kamalav Kiddushim Alyaninu, that the first guy's marriage was just a rumor and they never got married, Mevatlina Kola, or should we be Mevatel the rumor and then let her get married to the second? V'honardo Asrei the Shmuel, who Nardo's where Shmuel was, V'loy Mevatel Kola, by Shmuel saying they weren't Mevatel the call. So it can't be that that's the case, that they should look into to see if the first rumor is true. Ella, if they're Megalia, the Kiddushay Kama Kiddushay Ma'alyaninu, that if the first marriage, the rumors that happened that she was married are taka true, like you could get Misheni, then she doesn't need to get from the second guy, like we said. If somebody goes and marries an Eshet Ish, the Kiddushin is not Chal, right? So why would she need to get from the second guy? So that's what we're trying to figure out. What we don't know exactly why Shmuel wanted them to look into it. Upliga to Rav Huna, that this he disagrees with Rav Huna. Why? Amar Rav Huna, Eishes Ish, Shapashta Yada. If you have a woman who sticks out her hand, the Kibla Kiddushin, Me'achar, she accepts Kiddushin, meaning officially she's married. And then somebody comes and says, "Would you marry me?" And she accepts the Kiddushin. So Rav Huna had a Chiddush, and he said, Mikudesha, she's engaged to the second guy. Why? Midurav Hamnuna. What's the pshat? She's married. How could it be that if she took Kiddushin from somebody, she married, she gets the Kiddushin from the second husband? If a woman goes over to her husband and says to him, "You divorced me," she's believed. Why? Chazaka ain't isha me'iza paneh b'fnei baila is a chazaka that a woman does not have chutzpah in front of her husband, right? Meaning no woman would ever look her husband in the eye and say, you divorced me, if the guy never divorced her. Either, right? And Shmuel, who disagrees with this, he itmar to Rav Amnuna b'fanav. Rav Amnuna said that that's only in front of the husband, right? But shaloi b'fanav me'iza, but if not in front of her husband, she would have the goal, she'd have the chutzpah to tell people that my husband divorced it.
These women that never chagunas, why don't they just say my husband divorced me?
Maybe they're heirloom. No,
I don't know.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
You have this big cloud of migui, so.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but they could also just go off and get married too if they want, and nobody's going to stop them. I mean, I don't know if they'll get the kids into schools, but
also to Yaakov, that's only true according to Rehuna. According to Shmuel, I'm saying I guess we pass on like Rehuna, but if we pass on like Shmuel, then it's shlei b'fanav that she's saying Gershtani.
But no, so let's do it. Let's say she does it in front of him, like in Bezdin or something.
How would they say if she's in a guna? How would they say it in front of him?
I don't know.
Instead of becoming an aguna, she knows she's married to this mamza who's not going to give her a get. So instead of becoming an aguna, she goes in and tells everybody, "I got divorced yesterday from my husband."
Is that considered b'fanav?
I got a divorce.
Is that considered b'fanav though?
I don't know. I don't know enough about all these things. Right. Anyway, okay. So then the Gemara continues. What does it mean? If let's say they don't find, they don't know. So what's the din? Ravuna Megarish Rishon. Ravuna says the first husband has to get divorced for Noise Sheni, and the second husband gets married, right? If he wants to, obviously. Megarish Sheni for Noise Rishon Loi, but the second husband can't get divorced and let the first husband marry. My time, people are going to say, look, this lady was married to the first one, she's not married to the second one, and now she went back to the first one. So therefore, he said the only option you have here is for the first one to marry her, not the second one. The second husband can divorce her, and the first one can marry her. There you go. People are going to say, yeah, the first marriage is kedushay toys, right? Yeah, fine. So that's the machlokes, what you do in this case. Then the similar case, let's say a rumor went out that she got married to one guy and she was married to another guy. Meaning we don't have any edus. We just have a rumor that she was married to two different guys. So now what? So now what's the din? Even in this case, Megarish Rishon, the first husband divorces her, and she marries the second one. Right? That's real purpose. Because that's, like we said before, that's the more people are going to think that the first one, yeah, she was married to the first one divorced her, and she got married to the second one. So she can't go back to the first one because then people are going to think she's the master of the shasek. So the safer bet, again, we have two rumors that she's married to two different guys. The safest bet is that she was married to the first guy, she got divorced from the first guy, and she married the second guy. So that's what we could do. Let her stay married to the second guy. But again, we don't know what happens. We have to make sure that he gives her a get. Ameimar Omar Muteres L'Shnein. Ameimar says that she's mutter to both. Why? Because, meaning both, she can't be the type. She can't be married to both. Right? Meaning she can marry whichever one that she wants. Right? Meaning she has to receive a get from one, and then she can marry the other one. On Tamid Aleph, V'hilchasa, Muteres L'Shneim, and we paskin that she's mutter to both, meaning one of them has to give her a divorce, and the other one can marry her. I guess they'll fight it out. Who's going to do that? Right? The Tosfos has a whole case here of a story of right, there was a call, and the guy gave a get because of the rumors, whatever. It says, look, it's the whole thing. But the bottom line is the Gemara Paskins, and we, as far as I know, we Shulchan Aruch also Paskins, that when the rumors go out, she's married to two different guys. She can marry whichever one she wants. She just got to get. She has to receive a get from the other one first, right? Fine. Okay, we're on tomorrow night. Bez Hashem, we will finish the Masech.